Now, this training, I want to talk about just some funnel strategy on how the entire structure would look like from like a perfect funnel, from a lead coming in from an ad till them buying, what it would look like in a perfect scenario. So that you know when you're talking to a client that, hey, we need to implement this. Those are the exact steps of the funnel. These are the softwares that we need to use. Bop, the whole nine, right? So this training right here, I want you to know it like it's the back of your hand. Extremely important. It's a little bit basic though, but it's very important to understand the exact steps and what softwares to use, why these steps are there, why it's important to implement those and truly understand them, okay? Because we're operating in the back end. Now, that's that. So the first thing that I'm going to go over, okay? I'll just make a right screen here, is when a lead comes in, right? Most of the times what people do wrong, okay? Let me talk about the wrong funnel. They have an instant lead form on Facebook, right? So lead comes in and they ask the lead a couple questions and then they reach out to the lead, call them up and go from there. I'm telling you that 80% of people out there, they do it that way because they don't have a clue, right? Let me tell you guys a story right quick. Let me tell you guys a story. I did my teeth, right? Let me just unshare my screen a bit so that you guys have a better understanding. I did my teeth. I was in this clinic in Istanbul, and I was laying there while they were hammering my shit. Like they put like some like wood fucking pieces like this in my flesh, you know. God, I was like, hey, you know. And I was awake. I was awake. I could see everything, like blood everywhere, crazy. And after we were done, I was like, but wait, I almost paid 10 grand for this, you know? And I saw a bunch of people coming in. I fucked on. I was like, hey. So they're selling a high ticket service. And as I was getting the appointment, I was following all of the steps of that funnel, right? How they called me, how they would educate me on the call. I was analyzing everything. That's just me, bro. And that's what you guys need to do as well. Analyze the shit out of like businesses and all that stuff. Just be business minded. Now I did that, and before I had this appointment, I was looking for others as well. I was looking for other options to do my teeth. And everyone was like, yeah, you have to wait 2 weeks. I said, ah, bro, I don't have time for 2 weeks. Yeah, here is within a week. And no, I don't have. And they said, hey, if you fly out tomorrow, we have a spot. I'm like, ah, bet, let's go, right? Immediately went. I said, I love speed, right? Went there, they reached out to me, called me, and they educated me for hours and hours long on the call. I was like, bro, can you just send me like a quick content piece, breaking it down in a condensed way, bro? You know, but I was listening. I was like, bro, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing, you know? Did that and went through the whole steps. I went there to pay, right? So I had to pay while I was there, not even up front. And I was like, bro, this whole sales process is fucked. How are they getting so many clients though? So I asked, I said, hey, yo, doc, how much are you guys making a month? He said, yeah, we do around like 7 to 10 million a month. Gee. I said, wait 1 second, man. With a shit sales process like that, you guys make 7 to 10 million a month. And yeah, immediately my brain started to gag. I said, yay. I said, okay, listen. I'm a marketer. Okay. I own a marketing agency, and I can definitely help this business out because your sales process is not looking good, to be very honest. Oh, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm just a doctor. No problem. Bring me to your boss, man. And I knew the boss because the boss came to me to look at my teeth, right? So I knew the boss was there. So yeah, just bring me to your boss. Oh, okay, yeah, cool. And I said it with such conviction that he just had to do it. So I really like turned the situation, brought me to the boss. I pitched the boss in 5 minutes. And he was like, yeah, yeah, this is my guy. You know, let's plan the call together with the marketing team and everyone. And the way I pitched them was also by explaining the exact strategy that I'm going to cover here today. Right. The only thing I did, because they're already running ads. They're like pumping 300 grand a month in ads. But the only difference was I told them about lead quality because they have an instant lead form. Instant lead form with no VSL funnel equals bad quality of leads. I want you to almost tattoo it on your arm, right? Bad quality of leads. If they don't have a VSL and they don't have like a whole funnel, okay? So I explained it to them, and I successfully communicated that specific problem because it's always the same. It's always the same. And they were like, yeah, how do you know that? I said, of course. There's no way that you can get qualified people just shoot the instant lead form. It doesn't make any sense. Ah, okay, okay. It's like how we do it though. We have people, we collect them on a lead form, okay, but we also redirect them to a VSL funnel. They didn't even know what a VSL funnel was, right? So I had to explain it to them, and also make sure that they understand the indoctrination process, putting content in front of their direct response first, because they had a direct response immediately. So I literally told the boss, like, hey, boss lady, imagine you're walking through the mall and immediately pitch you like that. That would be not like human, right? Yeah, yeah, no, of course not. Said same thing here. You want to make sure that you talk to people first, that they get to know you first, that you educate them that you're credible, that you're an authority, that you are a thought leader, right? And then ask them for something. Just like I'm doing here. I even spent money with you guys first, right? And now I'm here. Now I built trust with you guys. It's the same thing. So you have to treat it like it's in real life. See, you don't just ask a woman to just marry her straight away. No, fuck no, bro. Doesn't work like that. So by explaining this specific concept, only of that specific strategy of putting content pieces first. Why are they there? Educational, authority, showing the product, service, what you can do for them, etc. Boom, 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 boom. Then the direct response. They were like, poof. Okay, this is some new shit. This guy knows what he's talking about, right? And for us, because I mentioned this already, it's already normal. But I'm telling you, 99% of people don't even know this specific strategy that I'm talking about. They don't, really. There are a select few that are actually implementing this shit, you know, because it's advanced, but it's extremely easy to implement. Now, by telling them this, I address that, hey, the problem with the lead quality will just drop away. Why? Because these people, they know now who you are, what you can do for them, tap, 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 tap. And it just made so much sense. It was like, okay, yeah, it's cool. We get on the second call and we make sure that we get something sorted. Explaining a strategy. That's all I did. Full conviction, done. Right. And then they even asked me to do a testimonial for them because I told them as well, like, you guys need to stack testimonials as well with all these people coming in. Right. So yeah. Can you do a testimonial tomorrow? I say, hey, where's your content team? Are they here? Yeah, they're not here, but they could be here in 10 minutes. Yeah, bring them. Okay, cool. Text them, we'll call them. Okay, they came in 10 minutes. Came there, I coached the whole content team. I say, hey, you do this, stand there. Okay, boom, I will say this. You come, you approach. I back off a little bit, tap, tap. Coached everyone in there. With the coach, hey, the boss was looking at me, was like, oh, no, this is my guy. But yeah, no, you know, that's how you want to be. And that's also a huge lever that I pulled, right? But yeah, but that goes how to show that a $7 million a month business was so easily convinced by just explaining a strategy. So that's the story here, right? So what you guys want to do is you want to explain the strategy of how you're going to solve their problem and get them more money. It's the strategy that makes you different. Because if I just tell them, hey, I'm going to run your ads, hey, I'm going to do your webinars. Nah, what makes your webinars different? What makes your ad strategy different? Because I can go outside and find people, right? So that's why this is important. Now, what it would look like, and I showed them this, is that you have the content pieces, right? You have the content pieces, and they had a shit ton of content already. They have a shit ton of results, people being happy, white teeth, people that were bald as fuck have hair all of a sudden. And I was like, man, we can take these content pieces and results, put them in a sequence in front of people, you know? They have amazing services. They fix your taxi cab, they fix your hotel, everything. The whole stay, the whole nine, A to Z, right? And I was like, these are things that people actually need to know, you know, that will make you different from the others. This is an experience, right? So if you put that in a content piece sequence, right? Short videos 30 to 90 seconds, 30 to 90 seconds, right? Easy. People will understand what you guys are doing, who you guys are, and you guys will play into the familiarity bias, right? The more you expose yourself to people, the more they become familiar with you and are keen to take action. Now, how I am explaining this shit, this is exactly how you need to copy and paste it and tell it to your clients, okay? Familiarity bias, right? Now, these are, like I said, educational pieces, right? And authority pieces. Extremely important. So get to know your content with no CTA. Extremely important, right? So no call to action inside of these content pieces. And in the Facebook Ads Manager, you get the option of optimizing the content pieces that you want them to consume for true play, video views. So what we do is, as people watch more than 3 seconds of a video, they get put in front of another video. They watch 3 seconds again, the next one. 3 seconds again, the next one, right? And then we put them in front of the actual direct response. How many videos of these? I would say 5 up to 15 pieces, minimum, right? Minimum. We have cases with clients where we do like almost 100 pieces of these content pieces, right? but that's when you're really at skill. This is the bare minimum that you can do. And just test it out. Eventually, if you have people that have like fucking hundreds of thousands of followers and they have a bunch of content already, there you go. You want to have like up to 100 pieces of content in there to blast people. Gah, 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 gah. And you might think that it's a lot of ad spend. No, it's like, you will see there's like 1/10 of a penny that it would cost for someone to view your video. Is extremely cheap, right? I have the video, by the way, if you want to have the more tactical side of things, in the hammer them strategy. So the hammer them strategy, it's in the Kajabi. So that's the more tactical side of things, so that where we open the whole ads manager and show you exactly where to click and all that stuff. But this is just the understanding. Now, people get direct to the direct response. Now, what happens in the direct response? You have the call to action, clear call to action. Hey, click the link here down below right now. So you tell them what to do and when to do it right now. Okay, boom. Now that they go to the direct response, you have an option to make them fill out the lead form, right? You can do that. It's optional, right? But even after the lead form, you want to redirect them to a landing page. Now, landing pages, extremely simple, basic stuff up till now, right? You have a strong headline that articulates what you can do for people, okay? And what your offer actually is and what time frame. Then you have the VSL, an explainer video about the service, okay? Who you are, what the story is, and what you can do for them. It's all in here, right? Here's the clear process to result. Then you have the application. And then you have optional, you have some testimonials that you can pepper in here, okay? Testimonials, social proof, whatever, you put it in here. Always works well, if you have any. Make sure when you do the testimonials that you put the result and the time frame of the result, and ideally the full name of the person, right? Result, time frame, full name. Result, time frame, full name. They need to be extremely believable, right? So that's important. Now, when we have the application, we always use the software's Typeform to make sure that we have the right application questions, okay? Typeform is a software that you have to use. This is a no-brainer, okay? If people don't have a Typeform and a qualification process, and the qualification process with Typeform is to figure out what their financial situation is and their intent and their sense of urgency, right? Those are the main three things that we're trying to figure out when we use Typeform. I would even note them down. Like this is some crazy shit. With the Typeform, we integrate Calendly. So within Typeform, you have the option to integrate Calendly as the last step of the questions being answered. And even with the Typeform, you have the possibility to block off people that have no money. Typeform wouldn't even let them book. So if you tell Typeform, okay, if they answer that they have zero money or something, boom, you just tell them right there and then, thank you for your application, submit. And they don't even get redirected to the booking page or to the Calendly, right? And that's where you know that, okay, we only let qualified people in. And when people don't have this, They are dealing with what? Bad leads, right? Does this make sense so far? Just to make sure everyone is following. Type a one in the chat if it makes sense. One in the chat. All right, cool. Everyone following? Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Typeform and Calendly, always, right? Because what people do when they don't integrate Typeform with Calendly is that, okay, they have the qualification questions, but then when they are done, they get redirected to a separate page where you can book in. And that's what they do with like Go High Level, for example. And there will be a drop off of like 50% of people that say, nah, I'm not going to book. And you have a drop off of 50% of people. And with Typeform integrated with Calendly, literally the last step of the Typeform is to book in a call. Otherwise, they made they answered everything for nothing and they can't submit anymore. So it's a psychological trick almost, okay? Typeform, Calendly. Now, when it comes to them filling out the Typeform and the Calendly, they're done. They get redirected to a thank you page, right? So you have a thank you page where optional, you can have a pre-call video, okay? A quick pre-call video. And this is what I call small breakout videos. Small breakout videos. And this is the same thing that you can apply for webinars, by the way, okay? This is both for VSL funnels, so for call funnels, and also for webinar funnels, okay? So you have the small breakout videos. And what do the small breakout videos do? They handle specific objections and questions that people have already. Because when people come in here and they book, it doesn't mean jack shit. If you think, oh, they booked already, let me just kick up my feet, you will see. Life will smack you in the face, man. Right? And you will learn a good lesson. That when people come in, they come in curious. They don't have real intent. So what do? We answer the questions that they might have in their mind immediately here in the breakout videos, okay? And what we do sometimes is we have the questions that they might have, the frequently asked questions. We type it here as a thumbnail, okay? Am I getting the results? Okay, boom. What would it take from my end? Are there people that don't get results? Yes. Okay, boom. Like all these type of questions, what people have. Any bad reviews that you address, right? There you go here. Like specific frequently asked questions that just come back, objections. You always make the list if you analyze the sales calls, which you should do on a regular basis, every single week, by the way. And then you have these breakout videos, right? And when you have these in place, people will watch. Trust me, they will watch this one. And that's where the framing process starts, right? So we have the actual VSL landing page. Then we have the thank you page, right? Where when they book, we send them the emails, etc. They go in the sequence, right? And then we have the sales process. Sales process, don't rely on this. This is a best practice, okay? This is something that you can articulate to your client to show them that you're a smartass, right? You need to mention these things. But where the real sauce is the salesperson. The salesperson has the biggest influence on people showing up and getting their intent up there when it comes to the funnel, right? So the salesperson reaches out to the person, okay, to the lead, and make sure that they don't feel like a number. So what do? They send selfie videos, right? They send selfie videos and they address specific problems that they already have. If they reach out to them, boom, hey, just to put a name next to the face, right? If you have any questions already, feel free to reach out, right? Um, if you have some questions about the service, and you can even send some of the breakout videos that are mentioned here, tailored to a specific problem that they mentioned to the salesperson, right? And then that's where the game starts. The salesperson has all the power and influence of making them show up on the call. It's the unscalable action that the salesperson has to take. Speed the lead, okay? So the speed to how much time does it take for the salesperson to reach out to the lead? These are the things that we also look at when it comes to the funnel, right? I'm mentioning the bottlenecks that people potentially might have in their system, okay? Because this is what I always talk about, okay? I'm looking for these things. I'm asking these questions. Hey, when are the salespeople reaching out to your leads? How fast is it on average? Oh, I don't know. Hey, do you guys have breakout? Do you guys have a thank you page? Do you have a breakout? Do you guys have a qualification? Qualification questions. Okay. Do you guys use Typeform integrated with Calendly? No. Why? How? Why? Why should I do that? Boom. And now you look like a smartass, right? So this is what you need to understand. Salespeople, selfie videos, unscalable actions, make sure that the lead feels like a human, not like a number. I call this the reciprocity bias. People know the reciprocity bias to be one of the most powerful biases that you can leverage in your sales process. So reciprocity. Now, it's easy to ignore an automated text. Extremely easy, right? But it's hard to actually ignore a human. It's extremely hard, right? That's why it's important for the salesperson to send selfie videos, right? Call these people, talk to them, talk about their problems, already answer the questions that they have in their mind. Answer them quickly. They are the ones that need to, like this is where the sales call starts. The sales call starts here. When they book, that's where the sales call starts. That's the framework, that's the mind frame as to how I operate. When it comes to a webinar as well, you follow them into a group, you already make sure that they start consuming content, right? And then on the webinar itself, you have the main conversion event where you can literally wrap your arm around them and force them to the checkout button, right? After they consumed a fuck ton of content already. So it's all about the consumption in the sales process. See how I mentioned content here, content in the sales process, content here. Content is everything. We are trying to get the consumption rate as high as humanly possible. This is something that literally, I think only 10%, no, not even 10%, like less than 5% of entrepreneurs actually get. If you talk about this, only this, what I'm talking about here today, with a business owner, they will think that you're a genius. They'll say, okay, listen, I will do everything you tell me to do because I've never heard about this shit ever, right? So content is the basis. Sales call starts when the leads books in. Handling the questions, getting the real objections out of them. That's what a salesperson does. If they don't do that, they're fucked. You will get a 3-month-long sales cycle. Okay? If they don't do this shit, ask them how long their sales cycle is. Next problem, right? Hey, how long is your sales cycle? Yeah, it's about like, I think 45 to 60 days. Yeah, no shit, bro. You guys are sending like automated marketing reminders and not even like sending like selfie videos. You guys don't even pepper in content in your sales process. Don't even educate your people. They're giving them the answers on the call and then they need to think about it with their wife and their dog. Of course, bro. The fuck? Now see how you can like foresee these problems when you understand these steps. And now you can communicate that up front with these people and almost know exactly what their problems are off of the things that they're lacking in their sales process and in their funnel, right? So that's how you speak to people. Once you understand this, every single step and what they're lacking, it's done. It's done. I'm telling you, man. This right here is everything. Now, sales call starts when the people opt in, when the people book in. Okay. We answer all of their questions. Even if they ask you, hey, okay, but why do we have the sales call then? No. Now it's an actual sales call. Congrats. It's not an education call anymore, or it's not a Q&A, because right now you guys are having Q&As, no sales calls, right? Another problem that you can communicate that they have in their funnel. They are having educational calls. People that need to think about it. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we actually have that problem. That's true. Yeah, no shit. You're not educating them up front. You're not providing them the answers quick enough for them to make their buying decision immediately on the call and make it an actual sales call, Mr. Client. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Chanzel, can you do that for us? Yeah, of course. I'm Chanzel Hammond, man. Of course I can do that, right? Boom. See how that ties into like speaking to their problems and already like foreseeing what their specific problems are inside of their funnel? That's how you need to communicate. That's the understanding that you need to have about these funnels. And now that you educated them, boom, they hop on a sales call. And now like you have 7-day sales cycles, right? 7-day sales cycles, easy. And they close. And the cash up front here, you can have up to a 40% close rate with this. Easy. 100%. If the salespeople work their leads, right? Hey, with these best practices and having this type of funnel, using content here, direct response, having the landing page, everything intact, thank you page, salespeople dialed in, Navy SEAL, using selfie videos, educating them. Then they hop on the call. This is like 40% close rate, minimum of 85% short rate, minimum. If you do this correctly, this is it. This is like the whole funnel that you need to understand when it comes to webinars, when it comes to direct response, when it comes to call funnels, etc., challenge funnels. This is the exact steps. You pepper in content, 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 and boom, sales call. That's how it goes, right? And I was talking about also sending the emails. When it comes to the emails, right? When you write the emails, you want the emails to be not like robotic, you know? No, you're actually talking with the business owner. Like it's almost having a text from the business owner. Like, yo, I saw you opted in, man. You can literally type yo right inside of your email. Just make it look like human, not like you just fucking bought something at Tesco's, you know? No, talk with your people. It's like a text message, you know? And then with the email, what you do, you also break down the educational part. You educate them, and you redirect them to a content piece, even if it is YouTube or whatever, that talks about a specific problem or specific process or whatever it is, right? But in the email itself, you always want to redirect them to watching a content piece and sell them on watching the content piece, right? Especially when it comes to like webinars, call funnels, you always want you always want to make sure that the consumption rate goes up there, right? So if they say, yeah, hey, Shanzel, we're already sending emails. Like we're doing it right. Okay, boom. Okay, yeah. Are you guys redirecting them to watch some more content and get the consumption rate up? No. Yeah. Okay, well, what the fuck are you guys doing then? Do you think you got these people read your email? No, bro. You have to make sure that you maximize the consumption rate. Okay, Shanza, why is that? When you get the consumption rate up, we have the 7-11 4 rule, right? You shorten the sales cycle by making people feel safe about the large investments that they're going to make with you, by spending more time with you, Mr. Business Owner. Do you understand now? Ah, okay. Okay. Can you do that for us? Yeah, of course. That's why I'm here. Give me money. I'll do it for you, right? So this is what you need to understand when it comes to emails. This is the exact funnel. Like this is literally it. You need to know nothing else, actually, right? Only a little bit of tactical stuff, but that's on the hammer them strategy training. It's like a video of like 15 minutes, but that's it. Once you understand this and you can explain this, just like I did right now on this call, like watch this again, study it, truly understand why we're doing it, right? Every single step. And then you can just, you explain this to a business owner, it's done, right? And this is exactly what I did with the $7 million a month business. And they will drooling on me, bro. I'm like, hey, bro, you know. But that's pretty much it, though. It's pretty much it. Shortens the sales cycle, right? Does it make sense so far? Does that make sense? Nice. Sweet. Sweet. And this applies to literally every single business out there that's selling a high ticket product, right? When you're selling something high ticket, people need to feel safe. They need to spend time with you, right? Is this a universal principle? We are in the high ticket business. This is it. If they don't feel safe, if they don't feel like buying right now, this and that, it's because the consumption rate is too low. They didn't spend time with you and you didn't address the real objections that they have and that they're not telling you, right? So you need to address the real objections and spend time with them. And that's pretty much it. And at the end of the day, it's really about the consumption rate. That's why you see the streamers, right? Man, if they sleep with their fans, bro. They shower with them, sleep with them, bro. Like if they tell them to buy something, every single day, they'll have a 90% of people will buy, bro. Because they spent so much time with the speed guy, the Aiden Ross, and all these people. If they literally tell some of their fans to kill someone, there are some fans that will literally get up and kill that person. Why? Because they got their consumption rate up there, right? up there, up. That's what we're trying to do here. Okay. Emails, software, easy. ConvertKit. You use ConvertKit. If you want to have SMS in there as well, yeah, you can have Go High Level, etc. But we use simple text. So simple text or click send for the SMSs. Easy, straightforward. These softwares like Typeform and Calendly, extremely easy. Like they will literally show you every single step of the way because they want to make their software as accessible as possible, right? They want to show you every single step. They want to make sure that they outcompete their competitors by making it as easy as possible. So once you just get Typeform, Calendly, ClickSend, Simple Text, ConvertKit, it's extremely easy to use. Okay, so don't get overwhelmed about it. But that's pretty much it. Salesperson, ideally, they have an iPhone. I'm sorry for all the Android users, but if you use an Android, people just think you're poor. That's just the fucking reality, right? So make sure that they have iPhones, right? And that they can send selfie videos, no green text, always iMessage. iMessage or WhatsApp, right? iMessage or WhatsApp and send selfie videos. High energy transfer. And that's pretty much it. 7-day sales cycle, right? Easy. So yeah, that's the training of today. That's all I got for you guys. Do you guys have any questions, by the way? Okay, sweet. That's that.